Hey everyone, I'm Julius Cho. I'm the voice of Magnus, Jay, and I'm Chase on Total Drama Island. And this is BakuTalk.
Hello and welcome back to the BakuTalking Longer Podcast. I'm Haru, and I got another special guest for you here today. He is voiced Chase in Total Drama Island. He has been in several productions like Spencer's Sisters, Children Ruin Everything, even Kim's Convenience. But most of you will know him as Jay in Bakugan Gen 3, but also Magnus in Bakugan Gen 2. So here he is. Welcome back to the show, Julius Cho. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Haru. It's good to see you again, my man. Yeah. This is awesome to be back, buddy.
It's so nice to have you back, and congratulations, by the way, on everything.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, it's just it's amazing. You've been Chase on Total Drama Island, a show that's a legendary show here in Canada, and here on Spencer's Sisters, Children Ruin Everything. Even Yoshi on Wedding Seasons. Great movie, by the way. That was amazing. Amazing job there.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's been a crazy few years since being Magnus on Bakugan, and I just can't. It's kind of hard to imagine this is my life now, which I'm really grateful for, and I'm grateful to people like you all the time, man.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm grateful to you. Thank you again so much for not forgetting about me. You know,
dude, never, Haru. I mean, like the amount of times you taught me how to use my Darkest Mono deck. Us going into deep dives about Magnus's backstory, I was like, this is what I've always wanted to do. So thanks, buddy. No, I would never forget you.
You have absolutely no reason to accept this invitation to come down. You know, it's you're just everywhere, like every single TV show.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. But Haru, I think you and I always connect because we're both big nerds. We grew up loving anime. I mean, look at your back posters, dude. I mean, they're epic.
Oh, yeah.
I grew into this as a fan, so I don't think I'll ever be, or I'll try not to be the snobbish person. For as long as I can.
I mean, you never were. So.
But thanks, buddy.
But how's life been? Actually,
it's been pretty good, I gotta say. You know, it's a strange time for actors right now with a lot of what's going on in our industry with strikes, AI, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's kind of been a dream. It's kind of been really wonderful on my part because I've been able to do a bunch of different things. Like you said, I've just got off on Children Ruin Everything season 4. So that's really crazy to be on a sitcom like that. Yeah, like you said, I've been on Total Drama Island, which is mind-boggling because you and I both grew up on that show as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's been a fun roller coaster. I gotta say, of just being an actor and not needing to be ashamed or afraid of that anymore. Yeah.
You're voicing Chase in Total Drama Island. This YouTuber character. Yes. I see him as a mix of Logan Paul and Rice Gum. An arrogant, unlikable guy, but so full of energy that does such the reckless stuff. Tell me what your experience has been like on that.
Dude, it was crazy. When I did Chase, I was like, oh, I really want this guy. He's charismatic, he's weird, but he's also slightly villainous, but not in a twirling mustache kind of thing. He's just kind of a general idiot. And yeah, I gotta say, it was a wonderful time to play him, and just so surreal to be in that universe and get to work with some people that I'm just we're all part of the same new generation. It was wild, dude. It was wild.
Total Drama Island is a show that's really has legendary status because it was such a unique cartoon, right? Blended cartoons with a reality competition show, and me and Katie rewatched the entire original series, right?
Oh no! Yeah.
I think Gwen was our favorite one, and then rewatching this new series, you got to reunite with Devin Mack, who voices Chef. You get to work with Stacey DePass again. You even get to work with Scott McCord, who voiced Owen in the original one, and he's also Dan Kuzo, the original Dan Kuzo's voice.
Yes, OG Dan Kuzo. It's pretty crazy. I actually met Lion Smith a few months back, and he was Masquerade from way back. And I was yo!
Masquerade and Magnus together.
I was like, this is cool. I was like, should we do a spin-off? What do you say?
I think Terry McGurran, he says that you were a slam dunk cast when casting for Chase.
Really? I didn't hear that before, but that's really touching. That's really touching. I think of the moon with Terry. He's a wonderful person. He's great with his kids, and you're just like really funny guy. And then also part of our childhood too. And I was like, what is happening? Yeah, Haru, if anything, I think the greatest gift is getting to work or just hang out with voice actors who I grew up with or I look up to, and I'm just like, how am I talking to you right now? How are you like not being like, get out of my face kind of thing? I'm just like, hi. What was it like voicing Caillou or something like that? Oh, it was really cool, man. Yeah.
I had that same experience voicing when I talked to Jason.
Yeah.
I also talked to Deven. You know, Deven voiced Lab Rat in Grossology. That was a huge part of that was a show that was a huge part of my childhood, and I'm like, oh my god, this is Lab Rat from Grossology. And then my first ever interview was with you. Actually interviewing a voice actor was with you. You reached out to me voicing Magnus, and I'm like, how am I talking to this guy right now?
That's crazy. I didn't know I was your first voice actor. You were such a pro. I was like, all right, cool. This is like business as usual for Haru.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was like super nervous just talking to you.
Okay. I didn't get that, man. I didn't get that.
Did you? So regarding the Bakugan Gen 2 series, you know, obviously you voiced Magnus. Thank you again for the poster.
Anytime, buddy.
Bakugan Legends was the fifth and final season,
right.
and obviously it's a sad farewell. But how did you find out about it being the last season?
I actually just found out from a producer. I was in the booth, and they were just like, "Yeah, we're this is it. we're almost done." And I think it was actually through you a little bit too, Haru, when you were posting about news of new toys and stuff like that. That I was like, "Oh snap!" Yeah, it was a kind of a combination of the two, where it was just kind of knowing, the side of Spin Master where it's like, oh, they kind of hint new toys. So I was like, oh, and then the producer was like, hey, so this will be our final season. It was kind of heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie. I spent most of the pandemic with Magnus, and playing the role of Magnus is one of my first really legit roles as an actor, where people will be like, yeah, who are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm on Bakugan. They're like, what? I just remember a really like heartwarming, bittersweet moment was I passed by Jonah, who is my Dan Kuzo, and he and I are good buddies, and we just had this nice like long hug as we're passing each other in the booth, and I was like, wow, this is hard. This is pretty emotional. Yeah.
Did you and Jonah record at the same time? Because I know in some Bakugan Legends episode, and I talked about this in my review, you and Jonah seemed like you were just going all out, like just yelling, and it's just so you could just feel the passion just coming out of the screen.
I feel like in that last one we were channeling everything. We just wanted to make sure we left with a bang. We never recorded together, which is a weird thing. A lot of Canadian records are single, so we don't really do a lot of ensemble stuff. But yeah, if we did ensemble with Bakugan, that would have been so fun. That would have been crazy.
That was actually very epic how it ended off. Like that was that one final battle with like Magnus and Dan, and then y'all just like throwing the Bakugans to turn into Nova Strength mode, Clash of Strength, Geogons just like blasting each other, and then Nillious and Drago had that really great choreography, and then you two, and then it culminates to Drago and Nillious fusing, and then you two are like Drago X Nillious.
Yeah. I mean, that's every kid's fantasy, right? Of like, when we were younger, seeing all the Power Rangers kind of together, and we're like, whoa! From every generation, you're like, this is so cool. And it's like, what a way to end the show, right? To have just all of our favorite evolutions just there together.
What was your reaction to after Bakugan Legends aired, and then fans are like really sad about Gen 2 ending? What was your reaction to their reaction?
I was sad with them. I was sad with them, but I was fortunate enough to have enough work not to get too emotional about it. Sometimes it's part of our acting industry is knowing some shows just come and go. And as much as you want it to keep going, or as much as you want more stories to evolve, you're like, it's a business, and you kind of have to just keep going.
I know
it was sad, though.
I know that Bakugan, like Gen 2, lasted 5 years or 5 or 6 years. Like, it's not 5 seasons. Congrats, by the way. 5 seasons of Bakugan. That's a pretty big milestone for a show.
Yeah, I didn't really realize how many seasons we kept going. It just felt like it was part of my daily routine of waking up being like, oh, we got a new Bakugan episode, let's go record, and then that would just be my life for 5 years. Just every couple months, just recording Magnus, screaming Bakugan Brawl, ordering Nillious to do stuff, hating Dan Kuzo, and I'm like, yeah, this is a good time.
Now, because Bakugan Gen 2 lasted 5 or 6 years, there are kids that probably got into it at like 12 years old or something. Now they're 17 or 18, and now they can look back on that and then realize, oh, that's the show I watched during middle school or something.
That's a great feeling for me to have, Haru, honestly, because I was one of those kids once, watching like Digimon and growing up and being like, this is part of my childhood, growing up to that.
And now you get to be part of lots of those kids' childhoods.
That's crazy.
I know there are some people, like there's some fans that have, like I've talked to, like in the Discord server, they were like 12 when they were 13 or something when they started Bakugan and started watching it. Now they're 17 and they're like, hey, do you remember Gen 2? Remember that guy in the mask? He was so cool. And I'm like, yeah, Magnus? Yeah. And it's like, I want to get a lot of his Bakugan. I want to get his card. I'm trying to find his cards and all that stuff.
Yeah. I honestly, dude, what a cool role to get as well. I mean, Magnus, as like in any anime, he's such a cool character. And I'm just so honored to have gotten to play him.
Do you feel like you could come back as Magnus if hypothetically, Spin Master does a spin-off with Magnus?
Haru, when you showed me that clip of the new Dan Kuzo and then Magnus watching him on the TV, I was like, this is amazing. This is really cool. This has to happen now. Magnus has some device that makes him jump through different versions, and he's just on his way to destroy all Dan Kuzos.
Just like,
come on.
Go find... he's in the Gen 3 universe, and he sees the Gen 3 Dan Kuzo. I need to battle that Dan Kuzo. He's not that Dan Kuzo, but I need to fight him.
And then the true Dan Kuzo is Gen 1 coming in, and then all madness breaks loose when it's like the three Dan Kuzos have to work together to stop Magnus, Masquerade, and what was the name of the new guy?
V.
V. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. Okay, now we gotta get that to happen.
We gotta pitch it, man.
That would be awesome. I feel like my clip. Like I can't believe you saw it, but I feel like my
man, of course.
I feel like my clip was the pitch of it. It's like Magnus is. It's a cut of like from one of the first episodes, and then I just put "I Am All of Me" from the Shadow video game onto it.
I love that in the comments, everyone was like, yo, that works. That song works really well. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like a Magnus song, yeah.
Oh, man. You can't not go with some cool, like, what would you call it? Like, not hard rock, but it would be like electric guitar kind of riffing kind of stuff for like Magnus.
Metal or something.
Yeah. Not heavy metal, but just metal, right? Metal. Yeah, it's still a kid show.
Yeah, but that's pretty awesome that you were able to see that.
Honestly, man, that's what I mean. Like, I will do whatever I can to not lose this wonder or this joy of knowing, like, I got to play Magnus. That is so cool. For 5 years, too. It wasn't even like a blip. It was a full 5-year journey of like him being a villain to like an anti-hero to an ally. You're like, that's great. That's what most actors want to do. Yeah.
Do you worry sometimes when you go record like other shows, and you're like voicing your character, you're doing your thing, you're worried that people will hear it or see it and think, "Oh, that's Magnus." Are you worried that that Magnus is just gonna be stuck with you?
No,
for the rest of your life?
No, man. I'm not haunted by Magnus. If anything, I'm excited for people to hear like Chase. I feel is like my version of Dan Kuzo, basically, and you can hear like maybe a hint of Magnus in there and stuff. But my girlfriend actually says Magnus sounds older than my normal voice, and I was like, okay, cool. No, if anything, that's also a badge of honor because when I was younger, I always loved hearing voice actors in other cartoons and be like, wait a minute, whoa, isn't that Kai from Beyblade? Whoa, and then like my mind exploding knowing that like this actor could be in so many different shows and stuff.
Yeah, same here. I remember like what was it? Sam Vincent. Sam Vincent voiced a lot of characters, and I hear him as Arrow from Stormhawks, and I just hear him in like various other shows, and I'm like, oh, that's Arrow. He was Martin Mystery, right? So he was Martin Mystery. I'm like, wait, Martin Mystery? That's Arrow. That sounds like Arrow.
And don't you have that moment where you're like, good for you, man? Yeah, play all these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. So Gen 3 comes along, and now all of a sudden we find you voicing Jay, the very shy kid with the Bakugan that I hate so much.
Now, why do you hate him? I'm just so curious.
He's just so annoying. He's so mean to Mia too.
Isn't he kind of like a Cubbo though? He's
also the Cubbo, and I'm like, oh man, oh no, we had the Cubbo invasion on the store shelves, just clogging it up. We're gonna have the same thing with Benji. Oh no.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to come back. And it was the same producers, same director from our Gen. So we just made sure Jay did not sound like Magnus. We did everything we could to just be like, everything you do with Magnus, do the opposite. That's what we want for Jay. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can make him this scared, wimpy kid. But that was really fun to just come back in the new generation as a little Easter egg or something.
We did hear a little bit of Magnus in the channel. Like, I know that sometimes when you're doing the Bakugan PRO and like,
Yeah. The effort noises, I think, will always be Magnus.
I mean, it's great. Like, a lot of people like caught onto it, and then they're like, "Oh, Julius is back in Bakugan Gen 3. This is amazing!" Right?
Yeah. It was a good time. It really was. But I think Bakugan will always have a special place in my heart. There's no question about it.
Did they approach you to voice Jay, or did you get an audition for it?
They approached me to voice Jay. I did audition for the new generation, so for Dan, for V, for all these other characters. I think they were like, nah, we want you for Jay. And I was like, cool. More than happy to come back and work. Yeah.
You got paired with Kaya Kanashiro for that episode.
Yes, I did. And Kaya, I worked with her on another show that's going to come out soon. I don't know if I can talk about it.
Oh, but unreleased.
Yeah, unreleased. Unless Kaya said it, but yeah, Kaya's a wonderful person. I honestly, getting to hear her work, I was like, wow, this is it's like passing the torch kind of thing. I was like, this is so cool. See that next generation. And it sounds like a lot of people love her character.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know a lot of fans like really loved Mia as a character. They like, this is my own personal opinion. I thought Mia was the star of the first season of Gen 3.
Nice. Very nice. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's just my opinion, okay? Don't blame me in the comments.
No. I think you're right to have that opinion, though. I mean, fun character, voiced by wonderful voice actors. What's there to hate, basically?
Mike Taylor being the new Dan Kuzo, right? And he gets a scene with Jonah Weinberg, the original one.
You know, what a surreal moment too, right?
So what did you think of Gen 3 like as a whole concept, like the whole concept of it?
It's funny because like I obviously have a bias. I'm always going to be my Gen 2. So watching it, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm on some kind of trip where it's like almost our show but not our show, and this is so weird. I liked it. I think it was a good version of Bakugan. I think it was just interesting to see the story evolve into almost like a parallel universe, or are we in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe where now we have different pre-existing Bakugan universes? I think it was fun. I think the voice acting was really good. The show was quite fun. I think it was a different landscape too, right? Especially with all the obstacles and them needing to jump through things to get the power-ups to help their Bakugan. I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
What did you think of Nillious, the new Nillious, which is voiced by Alan Turner, the new Nillious in Gen 3?
He's not my Nillious, so I obviously gotta rep my Corridoran. But it was cool. It was really cool to hear him talk that much. It was kind of trippy to see him not purple as much, and very thin. I was like, man, where's my chonky Nillious? Where's my Godzilla looking dude? But he looked really, really awesome. He kind of reminded me of like King Ghidorah a lot more.
Yeah,
the performance is really cool.
Dual-headed Ghidorah or something like that.
I mean, that guy was basically the Bakugan version of Joker, basically. And I was like, yeah.
I did get those vibes when we were watching him. He was it was a very interesting villain for this generation. Yeah, Nillious was like pretty much the embodiment of character for Magnus in Gen 2. He barely did any talking, but then here comes Nillious in Gen 3, and he talks, and you just love to hate him for it.
Yeah. I think that's a wonderful like reimagining of Nillious, of just what if he could talk, and like how villainous can we make him? How despicable can we make him?
Yeah,
because he's still a fun character to listen to too, with such like a nice clownish voice going on behind it too. Yeah,
he was pretty awesome. Would you want to get a Gen 3 version of Nillious toy? Because I know you have pretty much every single Gen 2 Nillious.
Nah, Haru, I think I got to stick with my own Nillious for this. Thank you though. I think I'm good.
What would Magnus be like if he had Gen 3 Nillious instead of the Gen 2 Nillious? What do you think it would be like?
Oh, man. I feel like Magnus and Nillious would break up at some point. I feel like they would bonk heads a lot. Because something tells me like my Magnus would be very annoyed by so much talking. Just from all we've seen, Magnus does not like any conversation longer than it needs to be. I feel like they would eventually make up and be okay, but I think for the first part they'd probably be like a sitcom, perfect stranger. I don't know, a sitcom situation where they're just like they don't mesh. They respect each other, but they don't mesh. Yeah, what do you think?
I think that if Magnus could turn up his sadistic side, like if he was still possessed by Tiko, that's probably what I would see Magnus using the Gen 3 Nillious instead of Nova and Shadow mode. He would be Gen 2 Nillious, and Nillious would be like, I always loved this guy. I knew I loved this guy.
Yeah, and I think maybe that would be an interesting storyline if Magnus struggled to contain, or is like free of Tiko or free of Nillious, and then just be like, well, okay, like still want to work with you, but can we find a middle way? Who knows?
I don't think we touched on this the last time we did an interview, but what was it like playing a Magnus that was possessed by Tiko? Because it sounds so crazy and so over the top.
It was the most fun I ever had. Honestly, dude, it was the most fun I've ever had, because getting to play a character that goes mad with power, make him sound totally unhinged, and then also defeat Dan Kuzo. Come on, that's a recipe for good time. I actually, funny enough, when I was recording, I actually forgot my line. Like, I actually froze up when I saw Nillious evolve as when I was being possessed by Tiko, and they're like, "Julius, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm just, wow, that's awesome," and just couldn't. I just needed like a moment to just process how awesome this was. Dude, it was a great time. It was a great time to see that.
It was an amazing performance that you put on, by the way.
Thanks,
It was pretty cool. It's like Magnus just like dialed up to 11, and he just has like it just goes so crazy. But at the same time, that's not him.
Yeah, that little psychopathic laughter that you're like, oh wow, this is like what he's always wanted. But seeing, like, I don't know, it's always, for an actor, it's always so fun to be like, what happens if the character gets what he wants? What does that actually look like, and how scary is that sometimes?
I'm so glad that they really touched up on that in Gen 2 at least once, and it was the first season too, right? So it was pretty early on.
They went all out on season 1, let's be real.
Yeah, they did. I mean, like, the season 1 spawned 52 episodes. Yeah, so it spawned 52 episodes, like 11-minute episodes and all that stuff. So it was 52 episodes, and they were able to like do so much with it. They had Shun's character development, they had Masato character development. Magnus's character development came very, very early on. But then after Armored Alliance, they went down to like 26 or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you expect it to be like shortened as seasons like went on, or did you think, oh, it's another day at the office, let's just do this?
I was always like quietly aware that like when episodes were shrinking, or honestly, dude, you were kind of my lifeline to seeing how people were reacting to Bakugan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just you would be like, oh, here's the quarterly like annual reports for Bakugan or from Spin Master and how Bakugan's doing, and I could kind of go from there to be like, oh, okay, cool, that might explain what's happening in the cartoon or something like that.
Oh, I didn't think you'd catch up on that.
Nah, dude, I follow you, dude. So I kind of like knew Bakugan had a lifespan. Like most shows, it can't just go on in perpetuity unless you're a Paw Patrol or something. But basically, I think Bakugan, there was going to be a conclusion, but I think we were just kind of seeing how far we could keep going. And what was wonderful was, with it being 5 seasons, it was nice to just keep enjoying it as it was going.
Did you guys have a after party or anything like that after the 5th season was completely done, and then
we were supposed to? I think the hardest thing was it was still kind of during the pandemic, so it's like hard to plan a big hangout. No, we actually never got to do that hangout, and I think I need to. The hard part is like nobody wants to plan it, so it's on to me, and I have to be like, hey, how's it going, man? Oh, okay, cool. Do you want to hang out?
I think Jason is in Vancouver. That's also the thing. Like, some of the voice actors are in Vancouver, and then living other places.
Exactly.
And then they're all doing their own things, you know.
And I think that's kind of the bittersweet thing about endings, right? Everybody moves on. We go and do our other stuff, and this is just this perfect moment in time that we got to enjoy this. Yeah.
I mean, Gen 2, I have a lot to be grateful for. I got to meet you. I got to talk to so many important people. I got to have a lot of people like watch my stuff. I didn't think that they would. You know, you're actually the stepping stone that launched my career, like got my foot in the door.
Come on, man. No.
When I did
Haru, that was all you.
When
man.
I did that first interview with you, everybody was like, "Oh, this guy is legit. We should watch him." I'm like, man, I'm so lucky.
Honestly, it was all you, buddy. Because like I remember when the first few episodes came out, and nobody knew who anyone was yet. I think I came across one of your early, like very early reviews, and this is like my first time anyone would talk about these characters, talk about a show I'm on. And I was just like, yeah, Haru, you got cool insight. You're seeing things that other people might not see. You appreciated the show, and I thought it was like, yeah, I think it's only natural to pay it forward.
Oh,
And like get to meet you and just get to hang out with you and like yeah, the fact that we got to hang out in person was amazing too.
yeah, thank you so much, by the way, for that.
Yeah.
That day was awesome. Like that was that was only a couple of years ago. You came here to Winnipeg. I think I can say this now. You were filming Spencer's Sisters.
I was. Yeah, I was. And I was I was like, yo, dude, I'm in Winnipeg. You want to hang out? And you're like, yeah. I was like, let's go. That was a good time.
Just go have and thank you again for for the pancakes. It's that was delicious. Then we went to the Human Rights Museum.
Yeah, it felt appropriate as Magnus and Haru ran, just going to a Human Rights Museum.
Haru and Magnus eating pancakes and then going to a museum talking about how human rights were violated back in the day.
and like realizing how biased we are with that test, I was like, oh, whoa. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
You're like, are you biased or unbiased? Try this test, and then you and I both were like, oh no. No, it was a good time. It was a good time, man.
We definitely got to do that again sometime.
Oh yeah, dude. Obviously, yeah.
Well, next time you're in Winnipeg, come look me up, come by, and then we'll even Bakugan battle, baby.
Please, I gotta say, I absolutely loved the card game that came with Gen 2. I was like, I play with Johnny, who's part of the Bakugan Montreal branch sometimes, and I'm just like, this game is so fun and like lovingly complex in the best of like Magic games that I'm just like, I am so sad this did not like pick up and go into its own thing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's a fun game. So
yeah, like, I'm not giving up my cards, that's for sure. I need to find a time to just message Deven and be like, let's play again. Yeah.
If you guys play again, I definitely want to try to be there and like film the whole thing.
Oh yeah, we will. And we'll have you we'll have you host and be like,
I'll do all the editing and all that stuff.
Yeah. Dude, be like a esports announcer. You just announce every move and stuff.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
I do know that you and Deven did do a game, actually. I don't know if I could say this. Actually, no. Deven told me already, so I'll probably say this. So you filmed a match with Deven for Jet Kuso's channel.
Did we? Yes.
It was back at the Invitationals, but Jet didn't get a chance to edit it together and all that stuff.
Yeah, we did. Well, the funny thing is, I taught Dev how to play the game before we went there. And I still remember the funniest moment was I was like, oh yeah, you gotta tap this to pay the cost. And Dev, not knowing, just started literally tapping a card, and I was like, oh no, and he's like, yeah, I don't know how to play this. So I'm like, wow, all right, here's how you tap a card. All right, cool. And now he, like, basically our record, he's defeated me three times in a row now or something. It's crazy. Damn. He's so good at this game now. He just figured out Mono Ventus, and I'm like, no. Yeah.
He picked up the game pretty fast, yeah.
Very fast.
I know that he faced a Jet in one video. That video got put up because it was at like Anime Expo or something like that. And he did pretty all right.
Yeah, there's no way I don't think Jet would post mine because it was bad. I was like not being able to roll the ball. I was so nervous because I'm like, I don't know how to play this game as well as these guys who understand the meta. They know like all the tricks and stuff. I'm just like, I'm just gonna roll this ball. Oh, I missed. Cool. Now I'm dead.
Well, the good news is that the deck that I built to has like reroll cards in it. So if you
dude,
you can do it again.
I think I used your deck to play against Johnny, I think, a while back, and I was like, yeah, this is a good deck.
I think I saw that video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny posted that video, I think. Yes, and I'm like, he won with my deck.
Yeah, buddy. You gave me a sword that I could use.
We just gotta convince people, like, when you play Maximus Nillious Ultra, it says if you have Magnus on the field, it gains plus 2,000 power, I think.
Yeah, or something amazing, and I'm just like,
Like
does it count if I just say I'm Magnus? Does that? I know that's like, there has to be an exception to the rule, but let me do that.
Yeah, let him have his moment. It's like, hey,
please.
he's Magnus.
Yeah,
Magnus is on the field.
I have a business card. I just put it on the field. I'm like, it says Magnus.
Yeah, you know what? If you play against me, I'll allow that.
No, thanks, buddy. No. No, I want this to be full regulation. That the voice actors get to just play themselves as the character. All the benefits included.
I mean, Deven does have there's a Trux Ultra that says if you have a Winston on the field, you get plus like 2,000 or something like that, or plus 1,000 power.
Right.
So if Deven gets that rule too, then he can use that.
I mean, it's only fair. It's only fair, man. It makes sense.
Use Winston. Okay, so we weren't able to have you onto the Bakugan stream, unfortunately, because of scheduling conflicts and all that. And I appreciate that you were able to help us get Tavia on the show.
No, of course.
She was amazing. She was a delight to have.
I'm glad.
We were on the Bakugan stream. We were able to read off fan scripts for like fans wrote like fan fiction and all that, and we had the voice actors all come in and like be able to voice all the roles that the fans have written, and that was a super fun time. I thought that was a great thing to like be able to give back to the fans. Right, yeah. So we're
catching up.
I wanted to ask you a small favor. If you could read this fan script that I've written, we'll read this together.
Okay, cool.
So basically, the setting of it is like sometime between, in between the time you remember in Bakugan Rising, Magnus had that journey where he apparently achieved new power, and then he goes to the Awesome Brawlers looking for Dankuzo.
Yes,
but we never saw what that real power, like how he achieved it all. That we just got like a couple flashback scenes.
Yeah, that was like when he when I walked in the desert, right, and did a full Mandalorian kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He went full Mandalorian on that. So, you know what?
No, fun fact.
Oh, crud.
That was actually supposed to be like a big chunk of that season. That was supposed to be like a huge section of that where you would actually get to discover Magnus discovering his true power.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was one of those things that we unfortunately had to, I think, scrap or something.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was like cut down to like 26 episodes, oh boy. If it was 52, man, why?
I don't know, man.
Networks and all that stuff.
Always, buddy. And it's also like, things happen, but I was so heartbroken. I was like, we could have done a Mandalorian. That would have been sick. Or like a Zuko when he like rediscovers who he is. That was like
Zuko alone, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, you want to do this?
Oh yeah. Okay, let's do this.
All right.
So this is set between the time when Magnus discovers new power and he goes back to the Awesome Ones. But we'll skip ahead to the confrontation. Magnus and Haru Ren see each other. They meet each other. They battle, but their battle gets interrupted by Everett Ray and McHugh. Everett Ray and McHugh's Bakugan overwhelm Nillious and Hydronoid.
Nillious!
Look, we can always finish our battle anytime, but for now, we can work together to beat these fools.
I can handle this. I don't need your help.
If you don't need my help, then Nillious and Hydronoid will fall into their hands, and you will never battle Dankuzo.
Fine. Just this once.
Magnus and Haru rise together and run in separate directions, picking up and throwing their Baku cords at Nillious and Hydronoid.
Nillious! Pact of Darkness!
McHugh's Cycloid phases through Nillious, charging towards Hydronoid. Hydronoid, Auralist Typhoon! Hydronoid's attack hits Cycloid, sending him into Everett's Centipod. Hydronoid, Auralist Blessing!
Nillious, Shadow Breath!
Nillious is enveloped in a purple glow, and he changes forms to the shock of Magnus.
Nillious, you've changed forms!
It worked! The golden blessing from Hydronoid helped Nillious achieve new power.
This is new power. Now is our chance!
Let's do this, Mass Dude!
Hey, I told you, my name is Magnus. Nillious, Shadow Stream!
Nillious' attack sends a blast of darkness at Cycloid and Centipod, causing them to be knocked back.
This is the power that I was looking for. With this, Nillious and I will penetrate the darkness. Shadow Eruption!
Nillious slams down on the ground, and an eruption of dark energy sends both Cycloid and Centipod into the air, and Nillious quickly flies up over them. Alright, Hydronoid.
Nillious! Dark Adoration! Is that better?
I think that was better, yeah.
Alright, cool.
Hydronoid unleashes a giant Auralist blast from all 5 heads up to the air, while Nillious unleashes a darkest blast from above, hitting both Cycloid and Centipod in the center in midair, causing a giant explosion that turns Cycloid and Centipod back into ball mode, and they are taken away by an opening gate, disappearing to Vestroia. Everett and McHugh flee as Magnus and Haru stand victorious. Haru is fading away in a bright light with Hydronoid as Magnus turns his head to him.
What is happening?
Until the time comes when the gates are stable again, I'm afraid I had to keep teleporting away. We will finish our score someday, but for now, you have to finish your own score with Dan Kuzo.
Just know that once me and Dan are finished, I am coming for you next.
Looking forward to it, Magnus. And disappears. And then
yeah, cool.
Then it's just a shot of Magnus just looking Magnus.
Yeah, and then just the credits. Dude, that was so cool. Nice.
Yep.
You wrote that?
Scene. Yeah, I did.
Buddy, well done. That was really fun.
Thank you. Good job, by the way. That was awesome getting to read a
Dude, that was me cold reading, so I don't know if I was like doing that correctly. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Hey, that was the first time you were reading it, but that was perfect, like pitch perfect, like exactly how I imagined.
It's been a while since I got to play Magnus, so thanks, Haru. That was really fun.
You still got it!
Yay!
Incoming wrestling chats. You still got it!
Still got it! Yeah. Thanks, dude. Yeah, that was really fun. So. Okay. So your storyline is that Haru is jumping from the real world into the into the Bakugan world, or
so I have a character in there. I have Auralist Hydronoid, but because the gates are like really unstable, I'm just like teleporting place to place.
I see.
It's like some unintentional side effect or something like that. And that's because cool. I am the guest character in the show. Right. That I can't stick around for the entire like series. I have to like go. I have to like get be written off.
I'm shocked you don't have a bunch of people who will like draw like frames and almost look like what the visualization will be. You know what I mean?
Crud! I should get someone to do that, or maybe I'll do it myself.
Yeah, maybe like just kind of cool.
When I was in high school, so maybe I could pick that up again.
That'd be kind of sick, dude. Yeah.
Have you seen that? Have you seen this video where they wrote like they showed Uno as an anime?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
that one was sick.
There was a
You're talking about those 3 dudes, right? Where they're like, I got her over, so they're like, oh, stab, and all that like special effect anime stuff.
It was like Uno. If Uno is an anime, there's Yu-Gi-Oh music in the background, and it's like, "Behold, my skip card! You lose a turn."
Hey,
something like that. This
wasn't live action.
It was just voice acting, but it was like manga frames. Like they flip manga frames, and they have the words and all that. It's literally just voice acting.
That's pretty sick, man.
I'll send you the link to it sometime. You can check it out. It's pretty funny, but it's pretty awesome. I just think
what a cool way to like keep the fandom going, right? By like getting to visualize these kind of awesome segments that you want to see.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like the fans are literally what keeps Bakugan alive.
Absolutely,
that's what I've always believed. And the fact that like there are so many people like so passionate about Bakugan, drawing fan art, making fan scripts, and like doing all these cool things. Like I've seen people draw Magnus on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I've seen those ones. I love those ones. I'm like, yeah, Magnus should have his. He should be what is that anime about? Or not anime, but it's like a live action Lone Rider or something. You know the guy who looks like a bug, but he rides a motorcycle and like beats up bad guys.
Oh, I was thinking of like a what was that superhero's name? He has that flaming skull and he rides a motorcycle.
I think it's Knight Rider, right?
Knight Rider, I think. No, not Knight Rider.
Hold on. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider. Oh, no.
There you go.
People are going to be so mad at us in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, Masked Rider. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, just Masked Rider.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he had like a motorcycle and just went and beat the crap out of people all the time.
When I did that intro where I used the "I Am All of Me" from Shadow the Hedgehog and put it over Magnus scenes from the anime and cut it all together, I know one comment was like, "Why doesn't Magnus have a gun?"
Huh? Probably because he's a kid. And why have a gun when you have a two-headed dragon?
It's a PG show, guys. I can't go too crazy.
We wouldn't really have a show if we promoted guns. And also, that would be problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like what's more engaging is watching him fight with a dragon.
Yeah.
Watching dragons fight is way more engaging than Magnus with a gun.
I think the only thing missing from that script that we just did was Josh Graham.
Yeah. Josh. He's a great dude. Have you interviewed Josh before?
I have, yeah. He's amazing. Yeah. I actually built him a deck and I sent it to him.
Oh, sick. Okay, so I got to play Josh then. Okay.
Yeah, you got to play Josh now.
I gotta fight everyone.
Because Magnus did fight Storm in the show, so
I did, yeah, and he voices him as well. So okay, good to know, Haru. Good to know. All right, perfect.
So I want to do. So this is the part of the segment where we open you up to questions from the BakuTalk Discord. Which, by the way, if you guys are interested in joining the BakuTalk Discord, link in the description below. Join the conversation. You'll be able to interact with various voice actors through this questionnaire whenever we do these podcasts. So we're gonna open you up to some questions. Some fans have sent you questions.
Sure.
So first thing, this one's from Silver Slayer. Is there anything you wish they could have done with Magnus's character?
Well, funny enough, that little tidbit I told you about showing how Magnus discovers his like stronger power in the desert. I would have loved to have seen that. I actually also think I wanted to see more Magnus and Emily working together or just discovering like a beautiful kindred bond. I feel like we kind of lightly hinted at that, but I was like, oh, we could have gone so much further. Or Emily becomes the new Magnus. That would have been really cool too.
Just give Emily another, like the other side of the mask.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, she does that, and then Magnus is like, oh, this is not a good idea. Oh no. And then like tries to like bring her back from the dark side. I'm just saying that would have been really fun to watch.
That would be pretty cool.
Wouldn't you have fun watching Anna Sani, who voices Emily, kill it as that too?
Yeah, I think that she would be I think that she would be an amazing. She would do an amazing job with that because we already saw Emily going into rage mode, and I just hear Anna's just screaming at the top of her lungs.
Yes. Yeah, that would have been a fun time.
We saw a glimpse of that in Armored Alliance, and I really do want them to like expand on that a little bit further.
Me too.
That would be awesome. Laval 2400 2.0. I want to see what 1.0 was. Which Nillious form did you like better, two-headed dragon or three-headed dragon centaur thing?
Oh man, I gotta go with my OG two-headed dragon. I mean, that's so iconic. The three-headed centaur thing was cool, but it was like Dragon Ball, where you're like, okay, how much more are we going? Is it four heads and like tentacles? Like, how what other iteration of this can it become? Yeah, classic. You gotta go with the classic.
Toy-wise, I thought that Genesis Nillious was the best looking one.
Oh yeah.
But in the show, like in monster form, I thought the three-headed with the elemental energy coming out of him, like all a purple glow, like in his base form, that was the best looking one.
I think so too. I don't know. It's just when they added the glowing parts, I was like, that looks really sick. That looks really fun and futuristic a bit. Yeah.
Auxilla Boy. How would Magnus react to Generation 3 of Bakugan? What Gen 2 Darkest variant Bakugan should partner with Magnus? Either it's its own Bakugan by the Awesome Brawlers or their adversaries.
Okay, so real talk, I feel like Magnus would first bully Jay so that he would have some kind of connection to Gen 3. And Jay would just apologize the whole time. I feel like Magnus would just try and grab Gen 3's Nillious and like beat that Nillious into submission to be his new partner. I feel like Magnus is kind of a one track mind. I don't think he would branch out to do other Darkest unless they were just additional to his Nillious companion. Yeah. What do you think, Haru?
I definitely think that Magnus would get the Gen 3 Nillious, but he would have the arm device, right? And he would control Nillious and make him submit to him.
There you go.
Mr. Dragon Man, how does he like the new Nillious design in Gen 3? Oh, we already touched. I think we already touched on this before.
Yeah. They made him a lot more snake-like than Gen 2 Nillious, and I was like, kind of like a realistic dragon more. Yeah.
Noria asks, chicken nuggies or chicken tendies?
Chicken nuggies. Come
on. And Master of Odd Eyes asks, favorite moment of Gen 2?
Ooh. Okay, so it's either when I get possessed by Tiko and I go batshit insane, or I think it's when Magnus, I think, falls into the Fountain of Youth, or whatever that water was, and can finally communicate with Nillious properly, and the joy and exuberation he feels through that was like such a really fun moment for me. Yeah.
That's awesome. That was an awesome moment.
Yeah.
I do wish in Bakugan Rising, you remember when Magnus went to that Cubbo colony, right, and had to save them, but he saves them by not actually fighting. He saves them by telling them, "Get up off your ass and do it yourself."
Yeah. Yeah, that was like one of those moments where I'm like, oh, I wanted to see more of that in the show too, because I think that would have been a segment of Magnus like finding his true power, which is just more and more his character.
I said this in my review. That should have been what Nillious turns into three heads, because he gets that jewel thing, and it turns out to be a teleportation device. I don't know why they did that, but that should have been the thing where like he touches it, and then Nillious just gets the third head. They should have kept it two heads until that moment.
Yeah. I think so too.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah, man. What can you do?
That's I think that was all the questions. Oh yeah, that was all the questions.
Awesome.
Would you always be open to coming back to Bakugan?
Yes, of course. Always. I think, it's like the show that allowed me to be a nerd and still work as an actor. Yeah, 100%.
I got a feeling, like, I really want to believe that if they ever find, like, they're writing their stuff and they're writing all the shows or characters, I really want to believe that they will write and design a character specifically just to get you back.
We'll see. Fingers crossed, buddy. Yeah, that'd be an honor for sure.
How do you feel about knowing that fans are always wanting Magnus to come back to Bakugan?
I mean, it feels great. It feels great, Haru. There's no denying about people wanting me back. Is always a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. I don't know. It just feels nice to know you did a good job and people really resonate with your character. Yeah.
There are people like that are like online and they're seeing like all the Magnus stuff that's like being posted on YouTube, or they're seeing toy reviews of Nillious, and they're like, "I want Magnus back," and all that stuff.
I just feel like it. Funny enough, Magnus taught me that sometimes you need opposites to make something really good. So, like, if we only just had the awesome ones, or what was the new guys called? What was their team name?
The Misfits.
The Misfits. Like, if you don't have just a little bit of an opposite reaction of, like, let's say, an opposing force of if everybody was vanilla and you had a little bit of chocolate, it just makes it that much better, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think without Magnus, the show wouldn't be what it is. Which is like a fun group of people working together, but then always having this one dude who's like sort of in the group but not in the group, or always wanting to do a different thing. I think people resonate with that because we all want to not just follow the same thing over and over again. We want to be a little different and have our own independence.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much what Magnus is, right? So, like, he comes in sometimes, and then he'll light up the scene.
Yeah,
he shows up on screen, and you're like, "Oh, I gotta pay attention to this."
Oh, something's happening! Yo, Magnus is on the screen. Yeah, that was always like the best thing when I got to go in to record, knowing that like, oh, Magnus is in this episode. Cool, he's gonna do something. He's gonna. He's gonna pull out a gun. No, he's gonna do something.
What do you think that you've learned the most from being on Bakugan?
That's a great question. I think it's to not. I think it helped me to really be a professional actor, and what that means is allowing myself to be in the moment, really just enjoy what this is, and not worry so much about if people like you, if people really enjoy, like, as long as you are happy with what you're doing, that you're doing the right thing. And that really resonated with me, and I guess that's why I've been able to work on a bunch of other things, is not worrying so much if people like me, but if I like me. That's I think that's what Bakugan really showed me.
I love that. That's amazing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, because like Magnus could have been just like, a 5-episode dude who people would hate. I could have just put on like a really hard cartoony voice and just been like, yeah, that's Magnus, and people would be like, eh.
But the fact that you put so much effort into Magnus, and then Magnus turns into the spectacle character that we all know today. It's all worth it.
Yeah, that's like the best kind of feeling when you walk in and you're like, oh, I want to try this instead. I feel like this is the character, and being able to kind of stand by it and be like happy with the result, and knowing that other people kind of resonate with it too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, that was a good feeling.
Again, episode 21 or so. It was Brawl for It All. That was the best episode.
Yeah.
Still the best episode right now.
That's season 1, right? Brawl for It All? Or are you talking about... Yeah.
Season 1. Then you had that monologue with Magnus' backstory and all that stuff.
Dude, that was one... Okay, no, I take it back from one of your questions. That was one of my favorite moments for Magnus, where he had his full backstory, and then, like, you hear how hard he is, and then, like, how determined he is about all this, and then he just softens up when he talks about how he's doing it for his sister. I love that, man. And I feel like that was one of the main episodes that, like, won a lot of people over.
If I could host a Bakugan award show, and I name best vocal performance in the reboots, that I would put that as the winner.
Wow, thanks, Haru. No, I really appreciate that. I would probably say you would need to give it to Margarita, who played Leah, for that one episode when she talks about her dad.
Oh, yeah.
That one's for me. Okay, for me, that one was my favorite.
God, that was so heartbreaking. That one, like,
that's what I'm talking about. This is why I love voiceover. It's like we're watching cool cartoons, and then somebody just says the most real thing you haven't heard in so long. You're like, oh, why am I crying?
It's amazing how it just elicits so much emotion. Yeah.
You don't expect it.
But yeah, this has been such a great time, and thank you so much again for coming on. It's great catching up with you.
Dude, always a pleasure. This was so much fun, and I'm like glad to just come back and talk about this stuff with you.
I'm so glad that you're. This is the third time actually we've gotten you back on the show, because like we did the second time we did that live stream, right? So.
Oh yeah! Wow. What happened to us in the past 5 years? It's all a blip. I don't remember any of this.
Everything just blends together, right? We're all so busy, and all the days just seem the same.
Because you said it's been a few years since I saw you in Winnipeg, and I'm like, no, that's not true, dude. I saw you like last year. What are you talking about? But you're right. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of years, but thank you again so much for coming on. It's great catching up with you and all that stuff.
Likewise, dude. Yeah.
I want to end every conversation that we didn't get to do this before, and you should probably blame Chris Van Vliet for this. But I end every topic or every conversation talking about gratitude, because it's become so important to me. What are 3 things right now that you're grateful for?
I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the fans and you just enjoying the work. That's one of the biggest things an actor wants, is just people to like what they do. I'm grateful for my family, and that means like immediate and also just the friends I've made. The people you spend your life with are those, and you can kind of just, if you really look around, it's never that dark when you have your friends and you have people who like who you are and you like them. And I guess the last one, I think the last thing is being grateful that you are who you are. Authentically, there is more and more of who you can be. And everything I do now is just kind of in pursuit of that. Whether it's wonderful conversations with friends or even just with myself, just to be like, hey, am I being as authentic as I can be right now? Yeah.
That's amazing. That amazing answer. That's a very unique answer.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. I don't know. I seem like I'm not a normal dude, so I feel like most of my responses will be different.
Your last one being grateful for being who you are. Yeah. So I am all of me.
Yeah. But that's it, right? Like, so often we live in a time where we're ashamed of who we are, or there's aspects we don't like, and I'm like, no, because if you took away that's not you anymore.
Exactly.
You are plus and minuses. You are all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously you keep doing what you're doing, and you're gonna find the rewards in life one of these days. Yeah. You know, it's good that earlier you mentioned Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know a good quote that I've always remembered from Uncle Iroh. Follow your passion, and life will reward you.
Yes. Because, buddy, look, like you and I are following our passions, and there's not a day I regret doing this.
Me neither.
Yeah. Because, like, if I talked to 15-year-old Julius and said, hey, you're going to voice a cool, like, masked dude in an anime in a few years, my 15-year-old self would be like, you're insane. Please, like, get away from me, you strange long-haired man. But, like, if you go after your passions, I don't think you'll have a lot of regrets. Because if it is a passion, you get to rediscover it. You're constantly curious. You're always on the journey of finding why you love this.
Exactly. And that's amazing, too, that you mentioned it. If you talk to 15-year-old Haru Ren, and you're going to tell him what you're doing, it's going to influence a lot of people, and you're going to talk to so many cool people, you're going to meet so many great people, and you're going to influence a lot of lives. 15-year-old me, who's so shy and timid, didn't want to talk to anyone, didn't want to go on stage, didn't want to participate in like stage plays or anything like that. You go up to that kid, be like, dude, you have got to be on something.
Honestly, yeah, same thing. When I was 15, I didn't think I wanted to perform on stage. that I would have been like, you're insane. I'm like, no, do it, man. He's like, you're hurting me. No, like,
just do it.
Yeah, I mean, problematic if we're approaching a 15-year-old version of ourselves, but
yeah.
But the advice is there, which is just please, like, try it and be honest with yourself and see where it takes you.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, thank you again so much, Julius, for coming on.
Honestly, Haru, thank you so much.
Do you have any projects or anything that you can tease that you want to bring out?
Well, if you have kids or you want to watch something that's like Bluey, Canada has our kind of version of it, and it's called Let's Go Bananas. It's a beautiful, heartwarming story about 3 animal families living together in like an apartment complex. It's very, very heartwarming and it's beautiful. It's on CBC Gem, and you can find it online. I will always promote this because it's such a fun show. Children Ruin Everything is on CTV and the CW, and on Netflix right now. So please enjoy that. Season 4 is coming out soon, and that'll be our final season. So again, another end to a beautiful thing, but really, really great work, and I want to showcase that. What else can I talk about? I don't know. No, I don't know if I can talk about that. I got to work with Goku from Dragon Ball Evolutions and Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5, I think? He's in 5, right? Yeah. So I got to actually work with these actors that, once again, I'm sitting around being like, how did I get here? But when I'm allowed to bring that up, I'll bring that up and share. But yeah, I'll drop it with just Let's Go Bananas, the beautiful kids cartoon, and Children Ruin Everything, a really funny, heartwarming TV show. Yeah.
And they can find you on your socials, which is right there.
Yeah, right there. Under Haru, not me. Yeah, under there.
Yeah, spoiler warning. This is all done in post.
Yeah. What?
But yeah, thank you so much again, Julius, for coming on.
No, thank you.
It's always so great to see you and catch up with you.
Likewise, my friend.
And everybody, thank you so much for watching. Support BakuTalk by pressing the thumbs up and give us a subscribe for more awesome Bakugan content. I've been Haru Ren. This has been Julius Cho. Thank God for Rapid Fire. Venture is based, and remember, Magnus is all of him.
That's great. Thanks, buddy.
Take 796.
Oh, God. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Julius Cho. I'm the voice of Magnus in Gen 2 and Jay in Gen 3, and I'm in a bunch of other shows like Total Drama Island and My Little Pony. Please. Haru. Okay. Yeah, and this is BakuTalk. Can I go now, Haru? Like, buddy, this is... Are you happy?